Hi, everyone. We are very happy to see you today. Today is the mid of summer, and I'd like to say that everyone who came today are the heroes already. So, because all other people are on vacation, drinking alcohol, maybe or not alcohol, and sitting near the beach, and you're listening to us. So, who are you? Yeah, well, that's a joke for sure, but we'll try to make our today's meeting exciting with the updates about Jmix. And I'd like to present myself. My name is Victor. I'm the product manager of Jmix. Today, I'm with my colleagues, Konstantin Krivopustov, the head of engineering, and Gleb Gorelov, the tech lead of the platform. And we will do our best to present the new features. And before we dive inside the details, I want to ask the people who are listening to us whether can you hear and see us well? Yeah, is everything fine? Please put your pluses in the chat, in the YouTube chat. We are looking at it, and if something will go wrong, I think that we will react. Yeah, so we'll find the option to react. So please write down something if you can hear and listen and see us well. Yeah, I see that some emotions are coming, so that means that we can proceed lightly. And while people are gathering, I want to talk a bit about the release, the Jmix 2.6 release we are going to present today. And my first question to my colleagues is, what are your favorite features of the Jmix 2.6? Gleb, what's your favorite? What was the most impressive, is the most impressive, in this release for you?
For me, my favorite feature is tabbed mode. It's a finished version of tabbed mode, which I will present today. I don't know why, I don't know, probably I like tabs.
I think I know the answer. You spent half of a year working on it,
Yeah, and probably because who made this feature?
Yeah. That's the reason behind it. I understand that you invested a lot in this piece of work, and I think that our community will meet this feature with pleasure. Yeah, so I think that it was one of the most respected and questioned feature in our community channels. Konstantin, what's your favorite? Don't tell that it's Switch. Yeah, I don't tell that.
No. I like our AI assistant. Now it's in Studio. It's closer to the developer, and I hope it will be used more frequently. I think it will be a great help for development applications with Jmix.
Yeah. I think that already a year passed after the moment we've introduced the Jmix AI assistant in chat mode last year. I suppose it was mid of the last year, maybe when we introduced first this feature as a separate application. And now after a year, you can see this feature directly into the IDE, and you can use it without switching between the windows. Yeah, and soon upcoming features around the AI assistant will come up, and you will see that it is becoming more and more helpful. But I don't want to spoil all the updates, and let's, I think, get into details. Yes, I think that we have enough of attendees right now, and let's proceed with my presentation. I'll be the first one highlighting some changes in subscriptions plans, and then we'll go further with all the technical details. Can I see my presentation? Oh, that's done. Okay. Once again, so this is the Jmix 2.6 release, and the first part of our today's agenda is the announcement of the updates around subscriptions plans. I don't know whether you've detected those updates or not, and I want to highlight the reasons behind that. Why did we do so? Yeah, why did we implement those features, those updates on the website, and how does it look like right now, and how can you benefit from it? Basically, yeah, let's go. First of all, we've implemented changes in the namings of all the subscriptions plans according to the items you can see on my in my presentation. The free subscription plan was renamed with Community. We assume this new title, this new name, is a more friendly way to deliver the meaning that this is the community version of Jmix, where everything is free forever, and it consists of free add-ons also. And don't forget that you can enrich these add-ons on our marketplace with your own contributions, so you can bring your functionalities along with other add-ons which have been already delivered by the community. You can see a lot of translation packages there right now. They also came from the community. So everything what is shared for free, yeah, it is inside the community version, and we decided that community sounds much better than free. The second update is that we decided to avoid the usage of RAD, yeah, since Jmix 2.6 release, and we renamed it with Sprint. RAD term is a very beloved term. I can say that we know it. It's in our hearts, but it looks like an outdated thing. Yeah. So now people who meet their technology first from the first hand, sometimes they feel confused because they don't understand what does it mean. Yeah. So is it a meaning of some X-ray diagnosis or whatever? So and to write a lot of words about that, it's rapid application development needs a lot of space. Yeah. And the other fact that we want to spend your time in the most efficient way. We'd like to present the new naming of this subscription plan, and this is Sprint. We assume that Sprint is more trendy. It is somehow connected to things like Agile, and this subscription plan really helps people to deliver faster with the features presented in the Jmix Studio itself. Yeah, so there are a lot of high productivity tools in this package. Then we decided to make the enterprise subscription plan more accessible and focused for newcomers and for the existing community by excluding the BPM add-on out of it and making it cheaper. This is the third change in the subscription plan, in the subscription plans. And the last thing is that we decided to extract the BPM functionality as a separate subscription plan. It will be the highest subscription tier. It is the highest subscription tier. And now if you enter the website where all the subscription plans are listed, we think that it is much easier to choose what you want. Yeah, because the namings of the subscription plans, they present the value in a more explicit way. So you can see that you can associate your demand somehow with those titles, and we also highlighted whom the subscription plan fits the best. Yeah, so who can gain the most benefits from it. Yeah, it's also helps helps to navigate between the subscription plans and to choose the one which fits your use case in the best way. We've also updated the Jmix plans comparison table and implemented the full list of features here in comparison to other subscription plans like Sprint Enterprise, and now you can see what's included before you choose the right plan for your use case for your next project. Yeah, and overall, good news. We decided that the AI assistant, which we are going to unveil a bit more today, both in IDE and in the chat mode, will be available for free. So it's the part of the community version right now. And it becomes really helpful, more and more really helpful in real life projects. And Konstantin will share his experience about the evolution of this instrument today. Yeah, the second good thing is that the enterprise excluding BPM became cheaper. Yeah, so it's more accessible. And the last good thing is that all users who've used the Rapid Application Development Plan, a former one, they were automatically transferred to the new enterprise, which excludes BPM, yeah, from the package, and the price will be kept stable. It will be kept stable until the 1st of July 2027. So if you were the user of RAD annual subscription plan, right now you can access the marketplace in the IDE or on the website and start to implement the premium features which were previously not accessible for you. So you can start using them, and you do not need to pay for this any penny, more money. Yeah. So, and for sure, such add-ons like Kanban, like notifications can be quite pretty to be used in your projects and make your development more productive. Yeah. So that's all about the subscription plans, and I want to deliver the word to Gleb, and he will tell about the updates in the UI and his favorite feature, tabbed window mode. So we are listening to you, Gleb.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. Not to interrupt, Victor. Sorry. Yeah, let's start with the smallest feature, the switch component. The new switch component allows users to toggle between two states, on, off, true, false, whatever. It mimics a physical toggle switch with a sliding handle. It can be used as an alternative to checkbox component, whatever you need it. Okay, next, from now, the code editor component supports auto-completion features. So auto-completion can suggest default options depending on the language mode if you set the default suggestion enabled to true. For example, let's switch to Java. Let's add more space here. Go somewhere here. And by default, auto-completion pop-up is opened when the user presses a shortcut. For example, for Windows or Linux, it's control space. For macOS, it's either control space or option space, depending on the system settings. And here we can see the local suggestions, that is to say, keywords from the entered text, currently entered text. And if I scroll down, keywords relative to the selected language, for example, like Java types. And if live suggestion attribute is set to true, suggestions will appear automatically as user types without requiring a manual trigger by shortcut. So all suggestors will request it for options as soon as the user enters a word character. For example, let's start typing like string, and I see my suggestions. Another example here. The code editor component supports the ability to set your own auto-completions. You can add auto-completion by setting the suggester object. For example, in declarative way using the install annotation. The suggester itself returns a list of suggestion objects, this one, each having a display text, a suggestion text, and an optional description text. For example, let's try to invoke it. So here I can see my display text and description text, and I can enter it. In addition, it is possible to define a regular expression that will open a pop-up window with autocompletions, and any entered sequence of characters that satisfies the set regular expression will initiate the opening of a pop-up window. For example, if I open XML of this sample, in this example, in addition to the standard keyboard shortcut, the pop-up window will open auto-completions by entering the dot character, like describes this regular expression. For example, let's remove this, place dot, and we can see our suggestions. Okay. Next feature is custom header and footer for dialog window. So you can now easily customize the header and footer of dialog windows. For example, let's open, no, don't save, persons, create, and here you can see that the view has an additional button on the top. It's like kind of helper button. And the detail action buttons are located in a dedicated area at the bottom here. So let me show you the code of this view. Okay. So two callbacks allow you to customize the header and the footer of views displayed in dialog window. And to utilize these callbacks, you must override them within the view class. For example, the first one, configure dialog window header. Configures the dialog window header, as name says, when the view is opened in the open mode dialog, and it provides access to the header component, enabling you to add custom components like titles or styling elements, for example. And configure dialog window footer does the same, but for the footer of the dialog window. And here in this particular example, you can see that for the header, I added a button, a helper button. So I created a new button and added it using the header object. And in case of footer, I just moved already present detail actions layout from window itself to the dedicated footer area. Next feature is that horizontal layout, or HBox, allows you to add child components to different designated areas or slots. So these items can be then aligned to the start, center, or end of the layout container. And this allows flexible grouping of items within the horizontal layout, improving control over component position without the need of using styles. And for example, buttons in this sample, which is presented in the footer of my dialog window, uses this approach. For example, I've added save and close button to the start slot and remove button to the end slot. And also available middle slot. Yeah, but in my particular example, I don't need it. And in case we want the same in Java, yeah, we can use, add to end, middle, or start methods from Java API. Okay. Next improvement is that the message templates add-on now supports the export and import actions, which allow you to transfer templates between applications. For example, let me import my template using JSON, and then So I can edit it, I can see its contents, everything works fine, and then I can export it, for example, to zip. Yeah. Okay. Next, let's go to dynamic attributes. So dynamic attributes management views were significantly redesigned to improve usability. So let's briefly take a look at them. So since we already display dynamic attributes for the selected category, we now edit category attributes from the main dynamic attributes view, as you can see here. And for example, if we open editor detail view for any category, we can see that now categories are edited using a dialog window, and a collection of their attributes is no longer present in the detail view. This change lets us avoid making an unnecessary clicks to dive into the category detail view when we want to do anything with attributes. So now let's create an attribute for my person category. So the attribute details view has been redesigned also. First of all, we reduced the number of tabs. Visibility settings moved to the main tab since we need them for every attribute. Added add all known views button to the grid, which allows us to add all available views which contain the special facet in one click, like this. So for example, in my application, person list view and person detail view contains this facet, and I can add them in one click. And other attributes are rearranged between two tabs, general and advanced, to simplify things. And one additional small feature is autofill for the code attribute. For example, if I like test attribute and my value change is triggered, I can see that my code is autofilled, which well, saves your time. Okay. And of course, overall improvements are made to views, such as removing blank spaces or improving responsiveness of these views. Okay, next feature is Masquerade 2.0. Masquerade is an end-to-end UI testing library for Jmix applications. The library is based on Selenium WebDriver and Selenium UI testing framework. And the main task of the Masquerade is to provide convenient access to web elements wrappers of Jmix UI components, unify interactions with Jmix views, and simplify access to the main functions of web elements. So let me show you. To include Masquerade to your application, just add test implementation dependency with well, this value. And that's it, actually. Now you can add tests using Masquerade. So let me show you some of tests present in my demo project. First of all, since Masquerade is based on Selenium, you can use any of Selenium's methods. So for example, in this Selenium test, you can see an example of test that logins into Jmix application. And this uses Selenium methods. Let me try to start it. It was too fast, yeah, but it opens additional web browser window and entered credentials and logged in into application. Okay, now let's talk about Masquerade itself. So Masquerade itself emphasizes the use of wrappers for various Jmix components, allowing for better organization and management of tests. Wrappers are classes that represent different parts of Jmix UI and isolate interactions with them. They help you to separate test scenario from the complexities of the UI under test. And as you already know, a basic Jmix project includes a login view from the start. So let's take a look at the test that logs into a Jmix application using Masquerade. And this involves two steps. First of all, creating a view wrapper that includes component wrappers along with the methods for each component needed for the test. So for example, if I open my login view, let me close this. This is example of such wrapper for the login view. So it contains, it extends view class, but not from Jmix Flow UI, but from Jmix Masquerade that wraps login view and like injects, let's say that, required for components for the test, as well as providing getters for them. And second step is creating test class itself that will invoke methods from the wrapper to go through the login scenario. In my case, since in my project I have different tests, abstract UI test, use it for each of them because every time I need to log in at application. And here it uses, it opens the login page using standard init method like this, but then it uses Masquerade J function to select view wrapper and then interact with its components. For example, if I start some test like this one, it should be long and we can see actual what happens in the view. Okay, the first test is passed and the second test is much faster. Okay, so everything works. Now let me open the application and let's talk about, actually I probably need login view, about test IDs. So Masquerade may assist you in generating a special JTestID, Jmix test ID attribute for each component created with the UI components factory. Such IDs simplify identifying elements on the page. So to enable, let me show them first. For example, let's find login button. Yeah, for example, login form has this JTestID attribute that is equals to its ID value. And to enable generation of this Jmix test ID attributes, we need to go to application properties and set Jmix UI test mode to true. By default, test ID value which will match the ID already given to a component. If a component had no ID, has no ID, its test ID will be generated based on its data binding, action, or text attribute. Okay, and the last but not the least, and as we already know, my favorite feature is improvements to tabbed application mode. So as you probably already know, tabbed application mode has been improved and now is ready for production use. So let's start application and take a look at the notable changes. First of all, let's open main view. And now the main tab sheet component is explicitly defined in the main view layout, allowing you to define its setting. It can also contain actions and walk through the tab context menu or using keyboard shortcuts. So as you can see, some default settings are already present and default actions are also scaffolded. But if we remove some of them, our context menu will contain less amount of actions. Also, you probably noticed this tabs draggable through attribute. Yeah, by setting this attribute to true, it enables drag and drop functionality of tabs. So let's open application. Let's open several tasks, and I can move them between each other. So like this. Okay. Next, let me open mod view properties. The tabbed mod view properties annotation defines parameters of a view specific for the tabbed application mode. And currently it provides the following properties. Closable defines whatever a view can be closed by standard operations like tab close button, tab close tab actions, and some specific methods from related bin classes for the tabbed mode. And if we set closable to false, it will mean that a view can be only closed by invoking the close method inside view, so using dedicated method close from view-based class. And the second option, force dialog, if set to true, the view is always opened in the dialog window, regardless of the initial setting of view mode. Let's take a look how it works. For example, let's open task detail view, and here I have tabbed closable false setting. Let's open this view. Go to projects, for example, bookstore, and open a task. So you can see that there is no close button here. If I invoke context menu, I cannot close it using context menu. I can close this view only by cancel or OK actions inside my view. Okay. Now, and also let's open task types detail view. Here I've added force dialog true option. Let's open this view. Task types, edit. Oh, sorry. So it's opened in the dialog mode, even though by default it should be opened in this tab. Okay. Cancel. What else? Yeah, one of the important improvements to the UI, for example, let's open like this change value. One of the important improvements is that the UI state is preserved when the web page is refreshed. So for example, I've opened the project detail view, I have other tabs opened, I've changed my value, and if I refresh the page, everything stays as it was. So no data lost, the same view state. And when we refresh page using browser refresh action, special UI refresh event is fired each time. And for example, we can use subscription to this event to refresh the data in the list view. For example, if I open my users view, you can see that I have this test notification that data has been reloaded. If I refresh the page, notification appears, because if I go to user detail view, I have subscribed user list view, sorry. I have subscribed on UI refresh event. It is application event, so to subscribe on it, you need to use this event listener annotation. And in fact, that's it on my part, from the UI part. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, now it's my part. It will be much shorter. First, let's talk about a new feature in the REST data store add-on. This feature greatly simplifies invocation of REST services in a client application that uses the REST data store. For example, if you have this customer service in the server application, and you need to invoke it from the client, you should just define an interface with the same methods as in the service and add the remote service annotation. At runtime, Jmix will automatically create a proxy and register it as a Spring Bean. So in your client code, you inject the interface and invoke its methods as if it was a local service. And the proxy will serialize parameters to JSON, invoke the service through the REST API, and deserialize the result. So now we think that REST data store add-on is feature complete. It allows you to work transparently with a remote data model, with its file storage, and now with remote services too. Okay, now let's take a look at improvements in Studio. They include Jmix AI Assistant in a Studio tool window, new code snippets related to UI, the new action to move views between packages and modules. Studio now generates sample code for renderers. You can easily replace a string literal in Java code with a localized message. And Entity Designer now detects the Lombok annotations on entities, and in this case, it generates only necessary code. Let's switch to the Studio and see these features in action. Of course, the most noticeable feature is the Jmix AI tool window. You can find it here on the right toolbar. The Assistant in Studio has the same capabilities as the web-based version, plus you can easily add files and code fragments from your project to the chat context. Also, you can select a code fragment in the editor and execute this Jmix Ask AI About Code action. The assistant will add the selection and the current file to the context and send a message to LLM. The history of your conversations is shared with a web-based version. You can see it here by clicking on the chats button. I should mention that the current Studio version 2.6.1 has only the chat capability. This add context button and the Ask AI action will be released soon in the next patch 2.6.2 in the next few weeks. We're also working on the new AI backend, so we hope that in the near future the assistant will be more precise and more helpful with your questions. Actually, it's all this is only the beginning. We're also working on experimenting with MCP server in Studio. So in the future, it will be available to third-party AI agents. Perhaps it will we will provide some kind of vibe coding for Jmix projects using different AI agents. Okay, now let's see the code snippet. I can generate some of the snippets from here. We added quite a lot of new snippets related to UI. You can find them here in these new categories. For example, I can quickly generate an input dialog or even more complicated background task dialog. So in general, these code snippets will often let you use the Jmix API without looking into documentation. The next new feature is the ability to move a view to another package or module. For example, I can select a view and use this move view context menu action. So Studio shows a standard dialog for moving to another package or module. I will enter a new package name and click refactor. And Studio asks if I want to move also the view descriptor. I click yes, then refactor again, and Studio moves both the Java controller and XML descriptor to the new package. And moreover, it updates also the message keys in the message bundle. You can see this new package here. So this is very convenient because previously you had to move the Java and XML files one by one and update all the messages manually. The next Studio feature is the ability to generate code for a renderer. Let's open a list view and find the column, this one, for example, and I will generate a renderer. So now Studio shows a dialog, and I can select a renderer type, a component renderer, text renderer, or just an empty method. Studio shows a preview, a code preview, and when I click OK, so I get this example of the component renderer, so it becomes much easier to write a desired implementation from this example. And the last small but useful new feature is the ability to generate, to move a string to a message bundle. For example, here I have a Java string literal in Java code. I just select this context action. Jmix replace with localized message. And I need to enter a key for the message, for example, no joining date. And Studio replaces the string with the invocation of message bundle and moves the string to the bundle. So now it's here. That's all for about these release features. Now, as usual, a few words about our future plans. Our next feature release is planned for October. We couldn't get the SAML add-on ready for the current 2.6 release, so we'll finish it in the next one. Also, we are going to deliver the long-awaited grouping data grid and implement the new user menu and card components. Another important feature that we are currently working on is the ability to define reports at design time in Java code. We are going to finish it by the next release. We will also add support for role inheritance to the resource role designer in Studio. And the data model visualization feature will let you see the data model diagram in the running application. And our more distant plans include upgrade to Spring Boot 4 and Vaadin 25 that are going to be released by the end of this year. So this is all from my side. Victor, please continue.
Thank you very much, Gleb. Thank you very much, Konstantin, for sharing the updates about the Jmix 2.6. I think that some of the features, maybe almost all, can be assumed as exciting. Yeah. But nevertheless, let's talk with the Jmix developers who are listening to us today and try to answer the questions. I see a few questions in the chat. Yeah, I would like to highlight and we'll try to find the answers. The first one is there anything that tab mode view can do compared to normal view? I think this is the question to Gleb. Gleb, unfortunately, you switched off the microphone once again. That's okay.
Yeah, sorry again because I turned off not to interrupt.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. It's summer. It's summer, so it's hot.
So views itself can do the same in tablet mode as in the regular mode because again the same views, just open it differently. But in fact, when opening views in tablet mode and using a dedicated view builders bin, you have more options for opening them. For example, in regular navigation, let's call it navigation mode probably. In navigation mode, you cannot invoke methods of views before you open them, because before you navigate them, you can only pass parameters using road parameters or query parameters, URL query parameters. And in tablet mode and using its view builders bin, you have the full control over the view before it's opened. You just create it. Again, same as in classic UI. In Flow UI, tablet window mode aims to have the same functionality as in classic UI. The only limitation probably is that since the tablet mode in Flow UI is add-on, not kind of core functionality, actions like edit, create, or standard actions still things that they work with navigation mode. And for example, if you define dialog mode, open mode as dialog, and try to define, for example, view configure stuff like that, you'll get an exception because action still thinks that it is in a regular mode. In these cases, it's probably will be easier for you to override the action, perform an event, and provide custom opening using dedicated builder method. Also, again, since views thinks that they work with negation mode, they rely on it, for example, for handling URI query parameters or stuff like that. And in our documentation, there is a troubleshooting page that describes how you some possible problems and how to resolve them while migrating existing views on the tablet mode. Yeah, that's it, actually.
Thank you. Thank you very much for answering this question. There are a few more. Yeah, so the first, I think that it's interesting one. What is the current estimate how much tab mode and JMix UI in general are finished at this moment without major changes? Does it look like we have easy time now with Vaadin 24.7 and forward? So I think that's the question about general compatibility with what Vaadin is doing. Yeah. So what's your opinion about that?
Well,
can we find some threads from let's say the updates with our current Jmix UI paradigm? So do you see any difficulties we may face, and for sure the community?
Okay. Since we do not wrap Vaadin as in classic UI and just extended, if they made some breaking changes, we also will have them. From our side, we always develop our functionalities to avoid breaking changes, to have migration paths. And in case of tablet mode, as we declared this as finished and production ready, we no longer can make significant changes in terms of API, and only improving or deprecating the old stuff and making new, but with compatibility. So they're ready to use. And yeah, probably for major developers, it will be easier to switch to tablet mode while working with Vaadin because, navigation mode not always convenient for enterprise application, let's say. That's why the switch was so much commented, liked, and voted up, whatever. So
Yeah, thank you very much, Gleb. And there was one more interesting question from Mladen. Yeah, so there's a question for Konstantin. Can you tell us what would you like to have in 2026 roadmap? This about your own preferences, Konstantin, I guess. What are you dreaming for in 2026 in relation to Jmix?
First, not that I'm dreaming about it, but we expect the big technology stack update that I mentioned, and I'm also thinking about some changes in API default API for working with views and data in the views. I promise it will be if we implement something new, it will be optional or backward compatible with the current approaches. Because now we understand the importance of backward compatibility much better than maybe some
before, I'd say.
than before. Yeah. And speaking about dreaming, actually, I anticipate that the whole world moves faster towards AI, and I think Jmix is a good fit for developing business applications together with AI, and so we already spent quite a lot of efforts into this direction. Not everything is public yet, but I think next year it will be a big leap for us in this area.
Yeah, by the way, in 2026, it will be already 10 years of Jmix and former Kubo technology, so it will be the anniversary. So I think it will be a good time to present the new vision, of Jmix AI and something in relation to it. Yeah, so we cannot tell about it in details yet, but we are hardly experimenting around the actual technologies in AI field, and we see it's very impactful on productivity from one perspective, but from another perspective, especially in enterprise development, you can easily hit yourself. So because in general, when you are using AI generators, they generate a messy code which you need to maintain, and if there's a lot of things you don't understand, it's very hard to maintain, and it's scary because it can easily bring some unexpected behavior to your project, and especially when we talk about sensitive data in enterprise and some kind of protections and permissions. This is not a thing. We see that it's not a thing in enterprise development. But when you get when you get Jmix and mix it with AI, it becomes more, let's say, clearer how this was implemented. Yes, and you meet less code which you need to maintain, and you know what kind of code was generated. It's easier to serve it, and it's easier to deliver to other team members, especially in the enterprise area. And we are thinking of how to make this value proposition sharper and to make the Jmix framework together with AI-related technologies look like a compelling offering. So this one which can bring you more value than both those tools in separation. This is what we are working on, but still we didn't find the right approach. We're experimenting and hope that you will be excited by what you will see next year. You see that we are moving fast, and I suppose we will also make some resources, information resources covering AI implementations in development and in runtime in the second half of 2025 and in the beginning of 2026. We'll try to share everything we know until now with you, and I think this will be quite useful for your projects. Yeah. That's all, I think, about the questions. Yeah. Wow. I see one more question from Alex. Are there rumors true that Jmix team provides the learning services and there will be a BPM-based course in August? Yeah, for sure. We are constantly improving the learning materials, and we see a good traction for our Jmix online courses. So if you don't know about that, you can visit our website and put yourself in the waiting list for the next online course. Yeah, these courses are held by Dmitry Vashchenko, and I think that he's already did a lot in improving the materials, and he's the right person to share the information about the best implementation of Jmix features with everyone who wants to enter this technology. Yeah, that's the thing. So don't forget to look for the updates and the news in all our channels. Now we're actively working in LinkedIn, in Slack also as the community channel. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel to stay tuned with our new features. And I think that we will keep calm until the September, and we also have some rest, yeah, and prepare the new updates. And we'll meet you in September with the updates related to Jmix 2.7 and some new ideas about the webinars and use case implementations of Jmix. So thank you very much for listening to us, for watching. Thank you, Gleb. Thank you, Konstantin, for sharing the updates of Jmix new features. This was really exciting, and see you next time in September, I suppose. Have a nice summer and have a nice day. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.